What's going on, everybody, at twitch.tv/HeelKevin, Wrestling Review Society's YouTube page, and Real Pro Wrestling's YouTube page. My name is Heel Kevin. I am the voice of Real Pro Wrestling and the host of twitch.tv/HeelKevin. And we are here with another pro wrestling interview for you guys this evening. And I don't even know what to say about this one. I'm really looking forward to this one. We've had plans to do this for a while now, and it's finally happening. I hope you guys are in the mood for a bunch of wrestling, military, and just the raunchiest jokes you've probably ever heard, because this guy is also a former military vet just like myself. So I'm really looking forward to getting into this one. But just before I bring on my guest, guys, I want to take a chance to thank all of our amazing sponsors who make this show happen each and every time I turn on this camera. First of which being A-Rock Designs. Guys, this is my wife's custom business. She makes all those cool wrestling tumblers that you see floating around in the Facebook groups. Whether it be wrestling related or non-wrestling related, if there's any custom merch you want to get your hands on, hit up A-Rock Designs on Facebook or go to arockdesigns.com and place your orders there. Also, guys, storefrontier.com/Wrestling Review Society, scrolling at the bottom of the screen. That is our merch store. You can go there and get your Heel Kevin merch, get your Wrestling Review Society merch, any merch that we have, whether it be t-shirts, hoodies. We even have cooking aprons now, guys. Got to get ready for all those cookouts you guys have coming up. But make sure you go to storefrontier.com/Wrestling Review Society and get yourself some merch today. Lastly, guys, just before we get started, if you haven't done so already, guys, the War Room is coming to an end on Facebook. We will continue on Twitch and Twitch alone. That change is going to be coming up early next year. So go ahead and make the switch now. Hashtag switch to Twitch at twitch.tv/HeelKevin. And we'd love to have you guys over there. We do all of our watch-alongs and stuff like that over there. And we also just broke into the top 2% of all Twitch creators. It's a great community full of amazing wrestling fans, and we would love to see you over there. So, guys, make sure you switch to Twitch at twitch.tv/HeelKevin. With that being said, guys, I want to go and get my guest on here because I've been looking forward to this one for a while. Like I said, guys, he is a former military vet just like myself. He is tearing up the independent scene in the state of Florida. He is your current Clash at the Con Royal Rumble winner. He is the supernatural athlete. Everybody welcome Daemon to the show. Daemon, what's up, man? What are you doing?
Oh, hey, what's good? Yeah.
What are you doing?
What are you doing, bro? What you talking about, man? Yeah,
I'm not putting on makeup.
I appreciate you having me, brother. It's great to be here.
I'm not putting on makeup. If that's
what are you talking about? What are you talking about, man? Stop lying to these people like that.
Jesus Christ. Daemon, what's up, man?
It's actually a jar of nuts, bro.
Because that's even better. The phrasing.
A jar of nuts, man. Nothing better than a jar of nuts, you know?
Oh, my God. What did I get myself into?
You got yourself into the best time of your life, baby.
Oh, my God. Daemon, thank you so much for making the time to be here, man. I'm super happy to have you here.
Thank you for inviting me to be here. Okay, buddy. Come on. Calm down.
Been looking forward to this one, man. I know you were in the gym earlier getting your swole on. What was it, biceps today?
The 20-inch pythons, brother. No, I did chest and triceps today.
Dude, I love chest. Dude, I love chest day, but like because I love doing chest so much, I tend to overdo it. My chest is always like super fucking sore because of it.
I mean, you got a pretty massive chest, so I'm trying to get like you, brother. Who this man? Who is Lucha Jesus? What's good, bro? What's good, bro?
You already got some haters in the chat.
I already do, man. But you know what? You can't live life without some haters, right?
Ashlock 209 whoa, he changed his name on me. Ashlock the American Nightmare, the winner of our Cody belt last night, says put those guns away. He's one of the guys that is flying in from California for the anniversary show. We're gonna get
Well, can't wait to meet you, brother.
Yeah, man, we're gonna get into all that in just a little bit. But just before we get started, man.
There's permits for these.
Just before we get started, man, tell us a little bit about yourself, man. How did you get into pro wrestling, and how long have you been doing it to this point?
So I've been into wrestling for as long as I can remember. My mother would tell me, when I was a baby, and my grandfather would like have me on his lap watching and stuff. But like my earliest memory that I can remember of like what got me into like watching this shit like nonstop. I want to say it was like first or second grade, and it was like a Friday night, and I was just channel surfing. So Cartoon Network had that like top 10 whatever thing at the time.
Yeah.
It There's commercials going on, so I'm just channel surfing, and then I came across the channel that SmackDown was on, and like literally first thing that comes on when I got to that channel was Undertaker doing his entrance, and I was just like shook, and I'm like a little kid just shook seeing some zombie looking guy in a trench coat walk into a ring. Like, what the hell am I watching right now? And literally ever since that, I've been into like I became a big fan of it, like fucking obsessed with it. Like I would always have the toys, like the wrestling rings and shit as a kid. Freaking, one of my favorite toys that I had was this. I don't even know what they were called, but they were like really big, I guess, like toys of wrestlers, and one of them was a Carlito with like fake hair and everything.
Yeah,
that was one of my favorite shits.
So you mean to tell me that the Undertaker inspired the guy who dresses up like a demon?
I don't dress like a demon, man. Like, I put a freaking set of contacts on. I'm a demon apparently. Nah, but the Undertaker definitely was the very first, I guess, inspiration I had to become a fan of it. And the more I started to watch it, eventually Undertaker became the inspiration that I want, like why I wanted to become a wrestler.
You know, even though I wasn't always the biggest Undertaker fan, there's no denying the the aura that was around him and the way that he just drew you in.
Right,
and
exactly.
Like I said, I was never the biggest Undertaker fan. I do appreciate him, and I can sit here and appreciate everything that he's done for the business. But for that man, when you talk about the psychology of wrestling, for him to have the grip on you that he did just from his entrance, without ever touching anybody, without ever getting into the ring, without ever throwing a punch, he had you from the moment that bell tolled. I mean,
God,
when it came to psychology, he was one of the best.
Part of his entrance was two favorite parts. Always of course, like the lights going on and shit thing, and then like the shit he does in the ring, like the trench coat is off, the hat's down, and then he takes it off. That shit always got me. Like I love that shit so much. And then as a kid, the one thing I always did at like during Undertaker matches was count how many times he blinked. As a kid, I was like, dude, does this guy blink? Oh my God.
You're the first person that ever said you counted the Undertaker blinking.
Bro, I don't know if I was the only kid that would do that, but like literally first thing that I noticed in his very first time like seeing the dude was like, fuck, this dude's eyes are like hardcore open. Like, is he gonna blink eventually? Like that's just him. This whole match is.
So man, we talked about we just hit at the Undertaker's what inspired you, and you were a wrestling fan from a very, very young age. But growing up through your teen years, going through high school and everything like that, were there any other sports that you took favor to, or was it always just about wrestling?
Shit, what didn't I do as a kid, man?
Jesus Christ.
Let me tell you.
Guys, I hope you're ready for the next 50 minutes of this. If you have any questions for Daemon, go ahead and flood the comment section. We'll get to them as we go along. But continue with your very modest and humble rant, Daemon.
There was a pie chart here. Majority of it would be wrestling. But I was also like into like baseball, freaking I'll play like friends in the neighborhood and all that, like school sports. I never did school sports like before high school. I never did school sports like that. Like I would play with friends, baseball, basketball. Freaking I would try soccer, even though I would freaking break my ankles every time. But and as a kid, I was that kid with my best friend growing up that we would legit be wrestling on the grass, like putting each other in moves and everything. Like our parents or our family would be telling us.
What was your favorite hold?
I always loved the sharpshooter. Always.
Dude, I was Texas Cloverleaf.
Brother, always loved the sharpshooter. Well, I'm sure you were a big kid, so it was easy for you to put motherfuckers in the cloverleaf.
I mean, the cloverleaf and the sharpshooter aren't that much different.
That's fair.
They're actually very similar.
You gotta do more deadlifting of the body. It's all up here. I feel
but your opponent ends up in the same position.
Yeah. Okay. I don't know. I feel like the sharpshooter is just less effort, but I always loved that sharpshooter because I also loved Bret Hart as a kid. I don't know why. Like literally, the thing that got me into Bret Hart before I even watched his first match or anything was his song, that fucking guitar riff.
That thing just sliced through the crowd, man.
Yep, instantly fell in love with the dude. And then I watched him wrestle. I'm like, oh my God, fucking love this guy. Who is this guy? That's not The Undertaker.
So we got baseball, we got wrestling. Was there ever any football or anything like that, or was it just those two?
No, I never did football.
Really?
I was always curious to do it, but I never did it. Like actually played a sport, like played the sport. Like yeah, I'd play with friends and stuff, but never like did it in school or whatever. I was on a hip hop team before. Friggin', what's up, bro? What's funny? Something funny? What's up? I'll bust out the cardboard right now, bro. What's good? Where's my boombox?
I mean, it probably helped with your footwork in the ring. So
I feel like it definitely helped me with a lot, like as far as like flexibility, like
no, absolutely
work and agility and stuff.
Absolutely, man. It's a workout just like anything else, and you know, one of the when you look at pro wrestling, people who have the most longevity have some kind of dance, cheer, or some kind of acrobatic background. So to sit here and say that it hasn't helped you in some way, I mean, would be a drastic misleading.
My dance coach, bro, he was an asshole. One time I asked him, hey, David, because his name was also David. And I'm like, yo, David, I want to learn how to do a split. And he said, oh, for real? Go to that wall over there, stand at it, and just slowly start like bringing your legs apart. Just slowly start doing that. So I do that. And like, I'm like this. I'm like pretty much like this with my legs, like right here. This motherfucker has the audacity to come behind me and just bop.
Yeah, no.
Yeah, I wanted to fight him, but Lord knows my legs were not ready for a fight after that.
I don't think your legs were ready for anything after that.
Like besides like that, I did wrestling when I got to high school. So baseball and wrestling are the two sports that I did in high school.
So
I quit baseball because I got tired of the team that I was playing because they were a bunch of lazy sacks of fucks. And I felt like I was the only one like putting any effort out there in the field. So then I learned about amateur wrestling, how like, okay, cool. So if I win or lose, it's on me. Say less. And I fucking fell in love with it. And I wish I would have done it like from my freshman year.
No, and you're not the first person to come on this show and talk about that, being accountable for your own, success or fail and not having to, rely on other people to get you where you want to be. So I definitely get that, man. And I was very much the same way with the sports that I chose to do and in the career path that I chose for myself. But one thing I want to ask you about, because I feel like we're going to spend a lot of time on this and I'm looking forward to it. Talk to me about how, managing baseball and managing wrestling, and you end up going to the military. How long after high school did you join the Army?
Literally right out of it. I signed up for it when I was in my at the end of my senior year. Actually,
was it always in the back of your mind that you were going to join the military, or was it a last minute decision?
I wouldn't say it was in the back of my mind. It was something that piqued my interest, but it wasn't something that I was like, yeah, when I graduate high school, I'm going to join the Army. But it was something that was like, I would glance at the website every now and then, you know what I mean? Like I'd be curious about it. And one day, this was like around the end of my senior year, I just happened to walk out of the lunchroom at my high school, and there was a recruiter there. He was a nice dude and everything. He was like, he challenged me to do like 50 push-ups for a bag, and my childish ass, I was like, oh, let's do it, Girls around, of course, I want to show off a bit, whatever. So I did the 50 push-ups. He gave me the bag and stuff. And then he was just asking me questions if I ever thought about doing it and shit, and like what the Army, affords and shit, like as far as benefits and stuff. And like, then it just made me think about it more. And eventually I showed up to their PT sessions on the weekend mornings. And I don't know, I just said, fuck it, let's do it. I'll join.
So where'd you end up going to basic training?
I went to Fort Benning, Georgia. Sausage fest, bro.
So you were OSIT.
I don't know what that means, but sure.
It means your basic and your AIT were in the same place.
No, actually, I had basic in Fort Benning, and then I did AIT in Fort Sill, Oklahoma.
See, that's typically where field artillery goes to basic at as well as Fort Sill.
Heard all of that when I got to Fort Sill. Heard all this already.
I rarely ever hear of people. I mean, we had a few people because you and I did the same career in the military. We both worked on a cannon.
13 bangers, son.
13 bang bang. 13. I got the shell casings behind me, man. This is actually
shell casings right here, dude.
This is actually one of the rounds we shot off in Afghanistan. This is a shell casing from one of our rounds we shot in Afghanistan.
I don't actually have one. I'm jealous that you have one.
I actually have two.
I'm literally just gonna grab a random object over here and just like show it for like 2 seconds. That's it. But yeah, that was my shell casing.
So when you went to basic training, because for me, when I went to basic, I was very surprised at how things were. I expected, to be absolutely just destroyed, to have them in my face all the time. And it really wasn't like that. I grew up a military brat. I heard all the war stories, scrubbing floors with toothbrushes and stuff like that. And it was I'm not going to say it wasn't difficult because there were difficult parts about it. But were you surprised? How was your transition into basic training? Was it what you expected? Was it easier? Was it worse? Talk to us about, your initial steps into basic training.
I felt it was a lot easier than I thought it was going to be, to be honest. Like when I
and that's not me trying to be tough. No, that's not me trying to be a tough guy.
I'm not trying to be tough. This is just literally how I felt before the Army. Before I got onto that, bus to head to basic and all that shit. Freaking what's it called again? You get your ID and like
reception.
Reception, yeah. Like before I got to all that, I thought the Army was all gonna be like in your face, like fucking
4 o'clock in the morning, screaming at you, doing push-ups till your arms fell off,
out of bed or whatever, like fucking push-ups in the mud in the rain and shit. That's what I thought it was. Really wasn't at all what I expected it to be, as far as like intensity, I guess.
No, absolutely.
Yeah, when I got off the bus, they did the typical, the
Shark Tank.
Did it for you, but like they did the whole typical, get the fuck off my bus, and then did the Shark Tank thing, whatever. But that didn't really scare me either. No. I guess I honestly found it funny, to be honest. Like they're like yelling and trying to scare us and shit.
That was the hardest thing, was trying not. I laugh at everything, bro.
I was laughing.
I laugh at everything.
Yelling. Like I'm over here like I'm a fucking greenie over here with my bags and shit, looking like, let's go. And the dude just fucking yelling, get the fuck off my bus. Like, oh, yes, daddy. Let's go.
What? Jesus.
All right, I guess we're here. And I'm like running up to our bay and shit. Like, we got like more sergeants just yelling in our faces. Like, bro, dude, can you like not spit in my face, please? That'd be super chill.
So every class has one. And you probably already know where I'm going with this. Every basic training class has one. Did you guys have a Blue Falcon? And if so, what kind of stories do you have? By the way, anybody who hasn't been to basic training or doesn't know what Blue Falcon means, it's code name for buddy fucker. He was always the guy getting people in trouble. He was always the guy messing up. He was the guy getting you smoked, like he was the one getting your balls smoked off. Like if you were doing push-ups, it's because of something this guy did. So did you guys have a Blue Falcon? And if so, what give us a story or two about him.
We had a couple, but there was literally one reason that I was like, okay, I mean, I guess that is a pretty douchey reason, like to get smoked. The other times were for stupid reasons, like somebody left their laundry inside the washer, or like somebody left their locker open. And that, oh God, did the drill sergeants love that.
Oh, when you left your locker open, it was open season, bro.
Yeah, that was it for your stuff, bro. Whatever you had in there, you're lost, brother.
Dude, I'm not even lying, and I'm going to let you answer the question, but I have to say this because I'm ADD as shit and I'll forget. My drill sergeant, my platoon sergeant was Sergeant First Class Corey Walker, and me and him still talk to this day. Really? This man has done so much for me. It is ridiculous. But this man was to this day, and I've been in the ring, or I've been in front of guys like Zach Monstar, Bud Heavy, yourself, Ryzen, some of the Madman Fulton. This guy's the most intimidating person I've ever stood in front of. Period. End of discussion.
Right.
Our wall lockers were every bit of 8 feet tall and about 4 feet wide. This man was like 5'11", jacked to the moon. Somebody left their wall locker open. He picked it up and threw it across the starship, bro. I'm not even joking.
Across the starship.
That's what it was called, because that's where everybody's bunked down. We called it the starship.
Across the starship. I love it. Friggin', I had a fucking scary ass
the
drill
private
sergeant
pile.
myself. Friggin', I don't know if anybody's talking. I don't see anything. But
what's going on, Hitman? Yeah, these are just comments that I'm pulling. You don't see the comment at the bottom?
Oh, I see the hello gents. Hi, Hitman.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. I'll pull the comments and put. You won't see them when they're over here, but when I put them on the screen, you'll see them. Like this guy, he says, "Oh, like a private pile." That's exactly what we're talking about.
A private pile. I never heard that before.
Really?
But my drill sergeant though, it's where it's like he wasn't like a mean guy, but he was scary as shit though. Like he literally looked like a Hispanic John Cena, pretty much.
I got you.
And I swear, the entire basic training, I probably heard no more than maybe 6 words come out of this guy's mouth.
Really?
Because he was like I don't know. To me, he was like a silent assassin kind of vibe dude. Like we had 2 drill sergeants. You know, we had our senior drill sergeant, and we had the fucking Hispanic John Cena possible serial killer guy.
Yeah.
Our senior drill sergeant, he'd be the more talkative one. You know, the more like fucking
dude. We had echo drill sergeants, and those guys sucked.
No, there was no echo. My God, this dude, like, he would only talk to us when he was legit like pissed about something or disappointed at us.
Mm-hmm.
And when he would talk to us, he would talk in such a low monotone, but heavy voice that kind of like you have to be quiet when this guy's talking, because like if you talk over this dude, he might grab you by the throat and just like throw you to the first floor.
Dude, I'll never forget the day where my drill sergeant started talking to us like we were people. After we completed all the criteria, when we knew the people who were left standing were the ones who were going to graduate, when everything was done, we just had like family day and all that stuff coming up. We knew we were going to graduate. They started talking to us like people. Drill Sergeant Walker walks in, and he has never said a word to us without yelling at us. Walks into the tent because we were on our 3-day FTX and field training exercise. And he just walks in and he goes, "So who you guys think's going to win the national championship this year?" And we're like, "What?" Like, why are you asking us? Like, you're normally yelling at us. And the funniest story about this man, so I got to tell you this story. Like I said, we had Echo Mission drill sergeants. So for anybody who don't know what that is, we had our platoon sergeant, we had our assistant platoon sergeant, and then we had 2 other drill sergeants. We had 4 drill sergeants. The platoon sergeant and the assistant platoon sergeant, they stayed. Every 2 weeks, the other 2 switched out. We got 2 new drill sergeants every 2 weeks. So at the very end of it, Drill Sergeant Walker, our platoon sergeant, asked us, he goes, all right, guys, let me ask you, what do you think about the Echo Mission drill sergeants? And one of the females stands up and she goes, it's a little weird because it's like, you know, when your mom's dating somebody and then you just get attached to them and then they break up and she has a new boyfriend and it just keeps happening. And Drill Sergeant Walker looks at her and goes, maybe your mom's a whore. Bro, we died.
Oh my God. That is terrible.
We died.
Dude, my drill sergeant didn't even know I existed until like about week 7. Yeah,
sounds about right, man.
This was like our last range.
But it's always if they don't know who you are, you're doing something right.
Exactly, yeah. Like I felt proud of myself that he didn't know who I was until
we had one guy named Tinsman at the very end. He's like, who the hell are you, Private? He goes, I'm Private Tinsman. Have you been here the whole time?
He said the same shit to me. I feel like a drill sergeant says that to at least one fucking private in basic training. But
yeah,
like when he was aware of my existence, and like, you know, reminder, this was basic, so I didn't have all this hair. I was cue ball Daemon, and this man looked me in the eyes and said, "Holy shit, you look like Barack Obama." For the rest of basic, he just kept calling me Private Obama. You know what? Whatever you want to call me, man. I ain't gotta see you anymore after like 2 weeks.
So how long were you in the military, man?
I did the 4 years in Chuck Deuces.
Just 4 years. One contract and done. Are you looking back at it now? Is there anything you would have changed? Would you have? Do you regret going to the military, or is it one of the things that you're really proud of?
Never will I regret being in the military. It's not something that I would have seen myself being happy with doing for 20 years, but never will I regret being in there, because the military, freaking basic training, whatever, that was basic. That's like fucking before you actually experience what the Army really is.
Yeah.
And the bonds you make with the boys in there, man, that's just something you just can't make like on the outside world. Like in a couple months, I'm actually flying out to Baltimore to go like spend the weekend with some of my boys that, you know, we just grew that brother bond that you just can't build with friends, like you just can't make with friends on the outside world. You know what I mean?
No, man, I get it completely, and you're absolutely right. I'll never regret going, and I never wanted to get out. I told you my story. I'm not really going to get into it too much.
Yeah.
But I never pictured myself getting out. Never really wanted to get out. And you develop these bonds that, you know, there's this term in the military that says embrace the suck.
Yep.
And there's times where you absolutely hated it. But out of those hard times, you know, in the field when you're soaking wet, it's pouring rain, and you're doing all this shit, the guys that you're there with and you're going through this with, you come out with some of the strongest bonds and some of the funniest stories you'll ever have in your life.
Shit. Only in the Army will you see a grown man cuddling another grown man for warmth.
They build the sleeping bags for two for a reason. The sleeping bags in the Army are built for two people for a reason.
I remember one of my boys that I work with now, like in my actual job, we were in the Army together. Actually, we were in the same section and everything.
No way.
And there was a field problem one time that it was just like super cold, right? And like not even the sleeping bags could keep us warm. So like we just looked at each other dead in the eyes, like, bro, get the fuck in the sleeping bag right now.
Dude, it's for everybody watching it. It's not a gay thing. It's nothing like that. You literally have to do this to stay warm, or you will freeze. It's just that simple. But you know, I had Jesse Neal on the show not too long ago, and he also former military, and I asked him the same question. So I'd really like to get your side of it. Do you feel like going into leaving the military, you kind of leave that brotherhood, you leave that camaraderie, you know, seeing these guys every day and being with them and spending time with them. Do you feel like entering into pro wrestling in that locker room environment, it kind of not necessarily replaced, but filled that void of that camaraderie feel being in the locker room of pro wrestling?
Now, I wouldn't say it filled the void, because as I said, you know, there's like a bond like that you make with your boys in the Army. There's just nothing compared to it. But the bond that I make with the guys that I've met in the locker rooms and shit, something that, you know, I just can't describe either, because like it's not even just that you're sharing a locker room with these guys, but like if you're like me, who you go on these rides with the same guys, like almost like every show you're riding with the same people, you know, like almost all the shows I've rode with like the same, you know, like maybe like 2 or 3 of the same guys. And, you know, and even like whoever you ride with in general, just sharing, you know, just bonding with you, like sharing these stories and stuff, or say you're riding with somebody who's been in a few more years than you, and they're just sharing their stories of
what they've you have no idea
years. Or like they're telling, you know, giving you advice, like what to look out for and stuff. Me being only freaking 7 months in myself, you know.
Is that all 7 months?
Oh yeah, I've only been in for 7 months, man.
How long have you been out of the military?
I'm sorry. I've been working shows. Like I made my debut back in January, so 7 months, yeah.
So how long have you been out of the military?
I got out back in 2018 of August, and May of the next year, I started training, because I don't know if my boy Donald's watching right now, but if he is, shout out to my boy Donald, because he's a really close friend of mine that I've known since high school. And me and him, like, we were those fucking huge WWE nerds in high school. You know, we could just talk about that shit for hours.
Yeah, man, I had one of those too. His name was Trey. We would just
And
talk wrestling for
freaking
days.
Donald, he was like, we were talking wrestling one time, and then I brought up to him how, like, dude, I want to fucking do it, you know, like, I want to just take a chance at it. I know I keep saying I want to try it. I'm not gonna get anywhere if I just say it, you know, like, I gotta fucking do it. I want to do it. Like, I want to just take a chance at it. I'll never know. I'm like 50 years from now, I don't want to regret not taking a chance on professional wrestling.
So let's talk about let's get into your debut, man, because I've watched you work about 4 shows now, and you've always been one of the standouts to me. You've always been one of my favorites. I've wanted to get this show in the works for a while. I mean, you and I, every time we see each other in person, we always kind of, I guess it was that veteran mindset that we both have. We kind of clicked from the instant, even before we knew that we both had the same job and stuff. We kind of just clicked right off the bat, man. But
you've been staring at me mad hard for like 2 minutes now. Calm down.
So let's fast forward to your actual debut. You know, you went through the training. You're out of the military. You went through the training. Now you're debuting in your first match. Were you nervous at all coming through the curtain for the first time and walking out for your first match, or did you always have this kind of confidence about you?
I was nervous before the curtain, but once I walked through the curtains, all the nerves went away, to be honest, man. Like, yeah, I didn't exactly have a 5-star Meltzer or whatever for my first match, but it meant a lot to me that my coach still praised me on, like, doing a good job, you know, like I guess I didn't do as bad as I thought I would have. I did better than I thought I would have done, you know?
Dude, my first match was trash.
Oh, yeah, it was fucking garbage. Like,
my first match was trash.
No. My first match was against one of my trainers, which to this day is, I guess, the most, how can I say, a special match to me, because I guess, I don't know, it meant a lot to me that my coach put that trust in me that to be, you know, for him to be my first match.
He saw something in you that you didn't quite see in yourself just yet.
Maybe. Sure. I don't know what went through his mind to, you know, work me on my first match. But to this day, I will always be grateful that it was him to be like my first match, because I was trained by Jay Lethal and David Mercury. Fucking 2 of the greatest in the fucking business.
Absolutely.
And granted, yeah, Jay, you know, he's a full-time worker still, and yeah, he's, you know,
killing it.
Not all the time would he be able to make all the trainings and all that shit, but when he was there, he would still teach us so much, and I will always be grateful for everything he taught us. But for the most part, I would say, you know, David Mercury was, I guess, more of my trainer. Does that make sense? Like,
no, absolutely.
David Mercury taught me a lot, and like, I'm just like, I guess maybe that's why it felt so great, and I guess such a special thing for me to be able to have my first match against David Mercury, you know?
No, absolutely.
I run it back with him because I feel like, you know, I feel like I could maybe give him a better match now than I did the first time. So, you know, gotta run that shit back with him, you know?
So we got a question coming in from one of the audience members.
Oh, shit.
Says, question, which would you say is harder physically, basic training or wrestling training?
Fuck. I would say basic training. I would say basic training.
See, I was going to say wrestling.
Wrestling? Like, I don't know. I feel like I'm going to sound like an asshole or like a cocky douche or whatever, but I guess, well, yeah, learning the moves and shit, yeah, that was intense as hell, you know? But I get when it came to like drills and stuff, I felt good about like my cardio, where I was at with as far as like, you know, strength and fitness and stuff. But learning moves, I guess, yeah, that would like make me a little nervous, because, you know, I wouldn't want to hurt the guy that I'm doing the move on and shit.
See, my thing would be that in basic training, even though it is basic training, there's still times where, you know, you're showering, you're sleeping, you're sitting down to eat, you have downtime. Even though it might not be as much as you would like, you still have certain downtime. When you step through the doors of a wrestling school to train, you are taking bumps, you are doing drills, you are running ropes, you are There's
I
no
love it.
time.
I loved it
Oh
all.
yeah, it's fun as all hell, but for the physical toll on your body, I mean, that's why I would say wrestling training would probably be a little bit more for me, because even in basic training you do have some kind of downtime, but when you're training, when you're in wrestling training, it's go 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 go. I'm just gonna go and say this really quick, Bud Heavy, you can go fuck yourself, get off my channel, or you can stick here for the clout, because I don't know if you're watching or not, but we are ranked in the top 2% of all Twitch streamers. So once again, Bud, I am better than you.
Top 2% of all interviewees. So
I am better than Bud Heavy once again. But with that being said, let's not take away from our guest tonight being Daemon.
No, that's fine. I love Bud.
Well, that makes one of
Bud.
That makes one of us.
Bud fucking Heavy. One of the fucking dopest guys that I've ever had the honor to meet. So, Bud, I fucking love you. And if you're watching this, thank you for watching it.
I mean, that makes one of us, I guess. But hey, I'm not gonna hate you for liking the guy.
Shit, when are we gonna have our death match?
If he answers, I'll put it up. But you talk about being trained, by two of the best minds in the business, and I really see it come through in your wrestling ability. The way you command the crowd, the second you blow through that curtain, it's all eyes on you. How long did it take you to? Was this always your kind of style? Was this always your kind of gimmick? Or did it take you a while to, because I know you said as soon as you come through the curtain, the nerves are gone. Yeah. But there's a difference between the nerves being gone and being comfortable. Like, not being nervous and being comfortable are two completely different things. Okay. How long did it take you to really step into this character that you have now?
So the supernatural athlete, I guess I wouldn't really say it's a character per se, because the supernatural athlete is something that came to mind when before I debuted, of course. Mm-hmm. I was just like, one day I was just sitting around. I was just sitting at the school. We just got done with training, and then something just came to mind, and I'm thinking about it on the way home and in the shower and stuff, and then I start thinking way back to childhood and everything. And the one thing that always comes to mind is I just had a natural ability to pick things up. You know what I mean? Trying something for the first time, a hip hop team back in middle school. I was just getting rhythms and shit down to dances, learning moves quickly. Wrestling, I was fucking amazing in wrestling and shit. I was a very technical dude in wrestling. I was precise with my moves and shit. I knew how to do shit. Fucking he stole a win from me. Well, you know what? Next time, be aware of your surroundings before you hit motherfuckers with the stunner. Anyway, freaking fast forward to basic training, fucking shooting, freaking field land navigation, doing shit in general. Whatever they were teaching us, I always got shit down easily. It never took me more than 1 or 2 tries to get something down. Yeah. Fast forward to wrestling training. Fucking Jay and Dave are teaching us lockups, circle ups, fucking basic holds and stuff. And I guess, in my opinion, I just had a natural ability to pick up a lot of the stuff down, on the first or second try. And then I start thinking about myself, my personality. I've always been that fucking weird kid. I'm an energetic dude. I always like to smile on people's faces. Since I was
definitely an energetic person.
I've always been that way since I was a kid, man. Growing up, my freaking mother would tell you, I was always running around outside in the streets and stuff, just having fun, having a good time. And then I kind of started to shit, what's another word for weird? What's another word for not normal? Supernatural. What's another word for something better than natural, I guess. More better than your average athlete, a supernatural athlete. And that's when I started just think about shit. It's fuck. It's I feel like I'm good, with doing moves. I feel like I'm good with doing chain wrestling. I'm taking it down to the mat for some, mat wrestling and shit, submissions, whatever. Jump, do a fucking backflip or something. Mm-hmm. That just all together just really summed it up to the supernatural athlete. When people like ask me, am I playing a demon? Am I a demon or something? Like, never once have I said that I'm a demon. That's what you guys think. That's why I prefer to just show you guys what the supernatural athlete is. I'm not the guy who turns the lights off and fucking appears in the ring. I'm just a dude who could fucking. I'm just a jack of all trades, man.
And an ace of none.
Exactly. I'm just a jack of all trades, but a piece of shit.
We have a question coming in from
that you have tried to incorporate into your moveset now. Oof. 2 moves actually. One that I got to do last Friday. Well, okay, so 2.
Is this the one you messaged me about?
Yeah, actually, yeah.
Yeah.
One of them I was able to land it perfectly. The second one, little fumbly. We'll have to work on it. I have to keep working on that one. The first one is Undertaker's old school. I've always loved how he fucking wrenches the arm and just gets up on the freaking rope and just walks that shit and just comes down on the dudes. But I turned it into
you drop that elbow on the dog one more time, I'm calling PETA.
No. Just kidding, buddy. Calm down. But freaking, so I took the old school, but instead of the big ass club to the back like Undertaker would do, I jumped off the rope and I turned it into Hurricane Rana. Mm-hmm. And I just thought that shit was fucking dope as hell. The second one, AJ Styles fucking moonsault reverse DDT, bro. Fucking love that move. And I tried to hit that shit like in that same match, but miscalculations. So ended up landing like I think I landed like somewhat on my feet. I don't even fucking remember, but we worked it. Like I fucking kept going with it. I didn't just stop. I just kept going with that shit. Fucking, we just kept the match going. But yeah, those are the 2 moves that I love. Undertaker's old school, AJ Styles fucking moonsault reverse DDT.
So got one more question from the audience for you, and then we're going to move on with some of the other questions that I have for you.
Baby.
And the greatest thing about this, guys, is this is Damon's first wrestling interview. So we normally stick away from, the more generic questions, but with this being his first one, there is no such thing as a generic question tonight. So one that we tend to stay away from, but, with this being your first interview, let's go and get your thoughts on it, man. Who is one of your dream opponents to wrestle?
So it's just any wrestler in general, like we're talking indies, talking major promotions.
Let's go. Whatever one you want to do. How about we do 2 from each? Let's do 2 from each.
There's quite a few people that I like really want to work.
So who are some of the ones that stand out that come to mind as soon as because I understand that can be a very loaded question.
No, not at all.
So
I've had an answer for this. I always have an answer for this question.
Okay, so who are some of the ones? Just rattle some of the ones off that come to mind, whether it be indie or professional.
So major professional. Well, this one can't happen anymore. But Shawn Michaels was always like #1 fucking dude. I've always wanted to, if I ever had the opportunity to have a match with, I would fucking give him the best match of his life. Do everything in my power to give him the best match of his life. Freaking Daniel Bryan, AJ Styles, Finn Balor, freaking Roderick Strong. If he would be up to it, William Regal. if he still got some juice in the tank, William Regal.
I mean, he still got them brass knuckles, so I'm pretty sure he could still go.
On the indies right now, shit, man.
Don't worry, you don't have to say me. I know I'm in your top 5, but let's leave me out of it.
I couldn't hurt you, man. I feel like
who's to say you could?
We'll go out to the ring. We'll have our intense ass stare down. We'll be like right in the center of the ring, just eye to eye, and then we'll just fucking hug it out, bro. Bro, what are we doing? Just bring it in, man. What are we doing? Just bring it in. Friggin' on the indies, Wheezy T. Fucking love Wheezy T.
Phenomenal talent.
Phenomenal fucking talent indeed, man. I've admired guys. I'll just name all these guys I'm about to name are guys that I've admired since I started training. Mm-hmm. And I've like watched these guys and I was just like, fuck, dude, I want to get on their level, man. Like I want to put on a great fucking match with these guys. Fucking Wheezy T, Logan Cruz,
yes,
Neil Starling, freaking Hunter Law. I'd love to run it back with David Mercury. Freaking yeah, that's right. It ain't easy being Wheezy. Yeah, that's like my top 5 right there that I would love to put in a match with.
My top 3 dream opponents for when I start wrestling again is Zach, Bud, and Logan Cruz. I think Logan Cruz is one of the most underrated talents on the independent scene today.
I would even say if he's underrated. Like, I feel like
not so much underrated, but he deserves a lot more recognition than he has.
Exactly. That's what it is.
No, that man is super talented.
The man is fucking crazy talented.
Dude, that ladder match they had with the Booyah Club, those guys did no wrong that night. It was so
there's a certain intensity that man just brings, and I just fucking can't get enough of it. Like, I love watching his promos. I love watching his work in the ring. It's just I'm a big fan of Logan Cruz. Big fan of Weezy T. I'm a big fan of Daniel Starling.
Yeah,
and I would love to work all of them.
Absolutely, man. You and me both. Let's get into some Real Pro Wrestling, man. Let's talk Real Pro, because you guys have a really big show coming up August 21st, the 6-year anniversary show. Going to be going all out at the Crown Plaza. We actually have some of our viewers coming down for the event that can't wait to meet you guys and watch you do what you guys do better than anybody. But let's get into Real Pro before we get into the 6-year anniversary show, just Real Pro in general, because you tend to frequent Real Pro more and more lately. What is it about Real Pro Wrestling that has grabbed your attention, that has made you want to keep coming back, that has become a second home for the supernatural athlete?
It's the locker room environment, dude. I love the locker room environment so much. Like, when I go to a Real Pro, like, first time I ever went to a Real Pro show, sure, I was nervous. You know, it's the first. I think this is like one of the first locker rooms I've been in, and of course, you know, I'm like, shit. I wonder how this is gonna be my first time meeting people other than the dudes I train with. I wonder how everybody's gonna be. You know, first time being in a Real Pro locker room, I was already feeling like super comfortable with everybody. I felt like they made me feel welcome. I guess, you know, everybody there made me feel welcome. Fucking from Zach to Garrett. They just made me feel at home, and every time that I show up, it just feels the same way. And now, like, I met you too through them, so like, I don't know. It's like it's little like the more I attend these Real Pro shows, the more it just starts to become like, yeah, exactly what Aaron Cruz just said. A Real Pro is home. The more shows that I attend, the more it just feels like it could be a home promotion. You can see Could you see Real Pro becoming your home promotion? There are 2 places that I could see being like I would consider a home promotion. Real Pro and Grind Time. Those are the 2 locker rooms I've been in that it just makes me feel at home.
You know, I've been involved with a couple different promotions, whether it be ring announcing, commentary, some type of production, you know, streaming it on the Twitch channel, helping them get their name out. There's been a few that I've been involved with as far as that goes. But as a fan, I've been involved with probably about 10. So probably about 10 promotions altogether. Right. And Real Pro is one of only 2 promotions that I've been around where it doesn't seem like the locker room politics are a thing. It doesn't seem like, because you go to these different promotions and it's always like, I love this place, but you have to deal with this. Or this place would be awesome if it wasn't for this. When it comes to Real Pro, and I'll even say Riot as well, because those are the 2 that I've been around where it doesn't seem like that's really a thing. It seems like everybody is there for each other. Everybody understands it's a give and take, and right. Everybody is there to watch. It goes to the old saying that everybody at the table eats. And I feel like everybody at the table eats at Real Pro.
Yeah, I couldn't say it any better myself, man. Real Pro just makes you feel welcome. Just makes you feel like you're right at home.
So moving on to the 6-year anniversary show, because once again, you haven't really been involved with Real Pro that much as up until recently. You know, you won the Battle Royal at the Comic-Con event. You've been a mainstay since then. Coming up, do you feel like there's any added pressure on you with this being the 6-year anniversary show, with this being their biggest show to date? How are you preparing for, do you know who you're going to be facing? Or if not, how are you preparing going into this? And is there any added pressure with it being the 6-year anniversary?
Honestly, no, I feel no pressure at all, man. I feel the same way that I do with every show that I've been to. I'm ready just to put my gear on and put on the best fucking show that I can for give the people their money's worth. As far as who I'm facing, What I'm tracking right now is I will be teaming with the Booyah Club to take on the douchebags of the Eden's Gate. Sorry, douchebags gate, Eden's douchebags, whatever you want to call them.
So you literally just complimented Bud Heavy, but you're going to be teaming with the Booyah Club to take.
It's not about Bud. I have nothing against Bud. He just happens to be with them, but it's just a certain dude that's with Eden's Gate that he just makes me want to just just grab him by the fucking neck and just take it off,
So I'm
so sorry, Goku. I'm so sorry, dude.
We actually had a comment coming in from Alizé that says "Screw Mr. Seed," and I believe that's who you're talking about.
That is exactly who I'm talking about, Alizé. So,
when did this whole
screw Mr. Seed?
When did this whole thing between you and Mr. Seed become a thing?
Man, ask him.
What happened?
I ain't do nothing to the guy. He just one day started bugging me and. Now he turned it into something. Like, I'm over here just trying to have a match, and this dude has the audacity to freaking interrupt me, cost me my match. Freaking. So whatever beef that dude has with me, I ain't do nothing. I have nothing to do with that. But I ain't going to just lay down and, take it. That's not what the Supernatural Athlete's about. The Supernatural, you fuck with me, I'm going to fuck with you.
They were actually chanting in the Twitch stream not at the last event, but the event before that when Mr. Seed come out and involved himself in your match. The Twitch stream was actually chanting, "Let them fight," the entire time security was separating you guys.
He was a little bitch, and he brought security out with him, so he knew I was gonna whoop his ass anyway. So that was smart on Mr. Seed. But come the anniversary show, ain't gonna be no security out there, baby. So I'll see how you're gonna run away from me this time.
One question I do want to ask you, and I tend to ask this quite often here on the show, because we do have a lot of people that watch this show that are in the Discord because they are planning to attend a wrestling school or want to start taking steps to get in that direction. If somebody were to come up to you and ask you, what is your advice for anybody looking to break into pro wrestling, what would that advice be?
Any advice that I have for somebody. If you ain't in the gym, get your ass in the gym. If you ain't doing cardio, get your ass to doing cardio. 3, if you ain't going to Jay Lethal school, get your ass to Jay Lethal school.
Jay Lethal school just really that good, huh?
Brother, if I had to pick any school in Florida to get the best training possible, especially for like a great price, Jay Lethal, man. Jay Lethal, David Mercury, and now Big Con. That's 3 amazing freaking minds of professional wrestling right there.
They got Big Con down there?
They got Big Con down there, baby.
Now, just to clarify, we're talking about Connor from the Ascension,
Connor
right?
From the Ascension, yep. No, I'm sorry. It's Big Con from the Awakening.
No, absolutely. But for the ones who haven't seen him on the independent scene,
yeah,
formerly known as Connor of the Ascension, now known as Big Con of the Awakening.
Yes, sir.
What's it been like having him there? Because he is such a nice dude. Such a nice guy. What's it like having him there and having his fingerprints on the training regiment?
So Khan didn't come into the school until like, let's see, I think I was already done with like the basic class, because Jay Lethal school, there's a basic class and an advanced class. Once you're done with basic, you move on to advanced class, obviously. But I didn't meet Khan until I was already in advance. And what's the matter, Toby? But Khan, he was just a really great guy to learn from. He's a great dude to talk to. It honestly shocked me to meet him, because before I met him, I'm like seeing this big ass ogre looking guy. I'm like, fuck, I don't want to fuck with that dude. But once you get to talk to the guy, he's a really great dude to talk to. And I'm definitely grateful to have learned from him, like the insight and everything, what he's taught us since he's been with the school. And
he is a super intimidating person, but every time I've talked to that man, he has been nothing but nice. He's been nothing but respect. It doesn't matter if you are the ring crew, if you're the referee, if you're the janitor. He treats everybody with the same respect.
Exactly. And I thought it was a great addition to Jay Lethal's school because not only do you have one of the the greatest first generation wrestler, fucking one of the greatest technicians in the fucking business. Now you have somebody who's got one of the best fucking tag team knowledge.
I want to get him on the show
too.
so bad, man. That man is amazing.
Right. He really is. Well, I'll always be grateful. Like, honestly, when he became a part of the school, I thought, like, fuck, dude, we are spoiled as shit.
I mean, he's still one half of the longest reigning NXT tag team champions.
Exactly. I was a fan of them too, to be honest. Like, not just saying
so good.
I'm doing this shit, but like when I first saw them in NXT, I don't know, something about like their music, like it just like their music video, that shit looked like a fucking acid trip, dude. Like it was amazing. Like I don't know, like I love the music, I love their look, and like I'm just like, if something doesn't catch my interest, like I'll have it on the TV, but I'll probably be like on my phone, whatever. But when these guys came on TV, I was like, you know what I mean? Like they got my attention instantly.
Absolutely, man. We're kind of getting to that hour mark, and I do want to be respectful of your time. So I'm gonna ask you this question before we wrap things up, man. You're 7 months into what I hope is going to be a very long and successful career for you. I hope that for everybody. And you know, man, everybody says it comes down to that it factor, and for me as a fan, you've always had that it factor. Every time I've seen you, you just grab the attention. So if I were to ask you, what is Daemon's, 5-year plan or even 3-year plan? Where do you see yourself? What are your, I guess, instead of a 5-year plan, what are some of your short-term and then some of your long-term goals for professional wrestling?
Short-term. That's a question I've actually never really understood how to answer. Like I know what goals I have, but I don't really know the difference of like their short or long-term. But I guess long-term, I can give you a long-term for sure. Long-term, I hope to do this shit until I literally cannot anymore, whether that's 20 or 30 years from now. Like I've always said, if I die in a wrestling ring, just know that I died happy.
Just go out with my boots on.
Exactly. Or my shooters, whatever I'm wearing at the time. This is actually something that it's a goal that I developed during training. I guess I want to either one day train at Lethal's at J School, like be a trainer at J School, or start my own wrestling school. I don't know, something about training the next generation, like sounds awesome, No,
absolutely. The late great Harley Race always said that we all have a bump card, and when that bump card's full, it's full.
Yeah.
There is every bump you take gets you closer to your bump card being full. And when that bump card comes and it's full, you kind of got to shift gears. And I think one of the best things for talent who really understand the business and have a great mind for the business is moving into that instructor role, because then your fingerprints are always on it, because you train them, they train somebody else, they train somebody else, they train, and you leave this lasting impression on the wrestling business. And for a guy like you who can come out and have that intensity, I think is just a great thing to have. I have one final question for you, and then I have a question from the audience for you. But staying on this topic, like I said, the second you come out of that curtain, now I'm not taking anything away from your in-ring ability. Bell to bell, you are one of the most solid workers I've ever seen. But what I really, really like about you is from the time you come through the curtain to the time you get in the ring, that work with the crowd, that connecting with everybody, that instant connection that you have. How important is it, in your opinion, to connect with the fans right off the bat, especially when they don't know who you are?
I feel like if you can't connect with the crowd, then what you're just out there in tights. That's just how I see it. Like, it's not a show if the fans are not into it, man. That's why whatever show I go to, whoever I'm booked against, my main goal is always to give the fans what they pay for. I don't want to go out there and be a dull ass dude, freaking just, respect me. Yeah, cheer me. Nah, fuck that, man. Y'all paid your fucking money. Y'all gonna get a fucking show, man. I'm trying to get people hyped. I'm trying to get people out of their fucking seats, like wanting more. You know, like, oh shit, this guy's fucking. Who the fuck is this dude? And why the hell do I want to watch him work? You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm. I feel like it's free. I feel like it's free like a free advertisement for yourself. From the time you come out to the time you get in the ring, that is your time to, especially when people don't know who you are, to connect with them, to make them, invested into you. It's not when the bell starts, because if you're trying to get their attention when the bell starts, it's an uphill battle. But if you can hook them when you come out of that curtain, whether it be the music you're playing they like, whether it be your energy, whether it be the way you interact with them, if you can hook them right there, they are going to be with you the entire match. But if you fail to do that, you can still get them, but it's an uphill battle. You have to take advantage of that time you have coming to the ring, when you're right there with them, when you're in their lap, when you're in their face. It's free ad time.
Exactly.
So we have a question. We have
better
another
time to get with the crowd, man. And like
when you're right there with them,
when you're on the way to the ring, you're right there next to them, man. Like shit. You know what's one thing that I always love about these shows? The kids' reactions. That will always be the one thing that makes me want to keep doing this shit, because those kids jumping out of their seats, going ooh, 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 like, enjoying the matches. That just makes me think of when I was their age, and I'll be watching these dudes on TV, them doing some shit, and I'm jumping out of my seat like, oh my god, I want to do it again. Like being like seeing those kids do that and like react like that to me. It makes me think of when I was their age, and I fucking love that, like it's what makes me want to give them more, makes me want to keep doing this shit,
Everything comes full circle.
Yes, sir.
So one more question coming in from the audience before we start wrapping things up. We got a question from Clown Prince, and he says, what does your match preparation look like?
My match prep? Well, once I'm done talking about the match and shit, once we got everything settled, really, I'm just like, I'm like in the locker room and shit. I'm like getting my bands and stuff, like doing some push-ups. But I'm just focused on like the match, I'm just like thinking about the match. You know what I mean? Like, I'm like somebody comes up to me talking, whatever. Yeah, sure, I'll talk to them. I'll fucking I'll shoot the breeze. But like if I'm not talking to anybody or whatever, like I'm just in my zone right now. Like, okay, I'm just like getting ready to fucking go out there and just fucking kill this shit. I'm just ready to go out there and give these motherfuckers their fucking money's worth. You know what I'm saying?
This interview
is really match prep. Yeah, that's really what I do, man. Like I don't even overthink anything. Like, oh god, what if they don't like this or what if they don't like that? Like, nah, fuck that shit, man. Like whatever we're doing out there, make that shit likable. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
I'm gonna throw a punch. I'm not just gonna. Nah, man, I'm gonna give y'all a fucking punch. Toby, come here.
Somebody call PETA. But man, this has been fantastic, man, and I highly doubt this is the last time we're gonna sit down and do something like this, man. It's been an absolute great time. Before we get out of here, man, before we wrap up, let everybody know where they can find you and follow you. I do have your Instagram plugged into the comment section. If you guys are watching on the Twitch channel and you use !Daemon, it will take you directly to his Instagram page. You guys can follow him over there. But other than your Instagram, where can they find you and follow you at, man?
Facebook, you can follow me at Daemon, friggin' no _SNA. But yeah, that's really all I'm on. Like Instagram, Twitter, Daemon _SNA. Man, I have a merch store if anybody wants to hop on.
All right, let's go. You can get one of them badass shirts you got on, man. Where can they find your merch?
Hell yeah, baby. Hell yeah. Freaking yeah. Like, I mean, can I just go on the stream on my phone and like drop the link to the merch?
Yeah, if you want to drop it in the comments, that's fine.
Cool. Yeah, I'll do that.
So while he's doing that, guys, while he's getting the link for his merch store, I want to take a chance to thank all of our amazing sponsors who make this show happen each and every time I turn the camera on. From A-Rock Designs, my wife's custom business. If you guys want to get your hands on any custom merchandise, all you have to do is go to A-Rock Designs on Facebook or arockdesigns.com and place your orders with Ashley Rodriguez there. Let her know that Kevin sent you. It's not going to do anything for you or me, but I love it when people talk about me. Also, guys, our merch is available at storefrontier.com/wrestling review society. You can find that by using !merch in our Twitch feed. If you're not on our Twitch, hashtag switch to Twitch. Like I said, guys, these interviews will be ending on YouTube early next year. They will not be on YouTube anymore. The only place to catch these will be at twitch.tv/HillKevin. So go ahead and make the switch today. Daemon has provided his merch store link in the comment section of our Twitch channel. He'll also go and post that in the Discord a little bit later for anybody who might want to get their hands on some Daemon merch. For those of you who are coming to the 6-year anniversary show, why not wear a Daemon shirt while you're out there? It's going to be a great time, guys. Daemon, is there anything else? Is there anything else you want to say before we get out of here, man?
Thank you so much for having me on my first interview, and hope I didn't fucking bore you guys with our stories and shit.
I highly doubt it, man. We got one more comment coming in. Ashlock, who's going to be at the show, says maybe I'll go pick up a shirt. You definitely need to, man.
Shirt, maybe. I mean, I got joggers now. I got tanks. I got stickers.
Got something for.
Oh, fuck, Toby, 2 in a row. Come on, man.
Got something for everybody. Daemon, if I can have you hang out for just one more second after the live feed ends, I'd really appreciate it.
Of course,
guys,
man.
This has been this week's episode of The War Room. Next week, Thursday, 7 p.m. Eastern, we're going to have Ring of Honor superstar Sledge
Listen to Clown Prince. Listen to Clown Prince.
Let's see what he said. We're going to have Sledge live in the War Room, the man who just went toe-to-toe with PCO and lived to tell the tale. My man Sledge is going to be in the chat. Let's see what Clown Prince said. He'll Kevin get him a custom Yo, we can make it happen. We can definitely make it happen. But once again, guys, next week, 7 p.m. Eastern, Ring of Honor superstar Sledge is going to be with us. It's going to be an amazing interview. But with that being said, guys, thank you so much for tuning in. We'll be live next Thursday with another pro wrestling interview. We'll be live Monday with our watch along of Monday Night Raw as always. And we'll see you guys there. Daemon, give me one more minute after the live feed ends. And as for everybody else, we'll see you next time.